Support the men and women of the Heightened Crimes Investigation Unit today by visiting patreon.com/terriblewarriors. In the criminal justice system, crimes committed by or against superpowered individuals are considered especially problematic. In Edmonton, Canada, the dedicated detectives who investigate these strange felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Heightened Crimes Investigation Unit. These are their stories. These are the Terrible Warriors.
Greetings, terrible listeners. It's the Edmonton crew. We're not dead yet. I'm Derek the Bard from Chasing the Muse, and I'm your GM for this evening. In this, the third episode of our very, very Edmonton edition of Mutant City Blues by Pelgrane Press. And I am joined with my terrible police officers. To my left,
Jesse, then starring Klep, the man who can't drive.
Shane Fitzgerald with Circuit 42 playing Detective Floyd Burrow. I almost forgot my own damn name.
Will Mitchell playing Detective Amos Richardson.
Cameron Dunn of Violet Bright Gaming playing Paul Payne, Spider Cop.
I love how he addresses himself as that. It's not Detective Paul Payne, it's just Paul Payne, Spider Cop. It's like Wolf Cop.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Now available for rental at the Lobby DVD shop.
So I forgot to mention at the original plan that I quickly abandoned at the start of the game was that the perps you were chasing in the car were going to have robbed the RBC beside the lobby.
Oh, God.
I'm like, wait a minute, I don't understand why the Heightened Crimes Unit is there. Okay, new plan. So, in our previous game, you guys got some suspects.
We do. Mm-hmm. Many, many leads.
Which one's you going to file first?
Well, she's our most likely suspect. So we should probably go to her house, especially if she's a potential flight risk, which she probably is in a very literal and figurative sense.
Yes. We also have address, and so we know exactly where to go.
Yeah. But meanwhile, we should also call some guys in Vice to see if we can track down this guy's dealer, and then also be ready to make contact with Blue Justice as well.
Yes.
Once you call Vice Cam, though, it's going to take a couple hours for them to get back to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so make
So I
the call,
figured it was like
go to her house.
while we're on
Yeah, because I mean,
go
you call up a couple of detective buddies over in Vice who still like you.
Not many.
Not many, but there are a couple. I mean, you're good police. You made some busts, you made some good callers, and you always made sure to give the other guys credit when you did. So I mean, and you're not obviously on the take, so they don't hate you. Is that my pencil, by the way, Will?
You gave it to me.
No, I said I'll need it back at the end of the game. So
yeah. I mean, I'm using it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. My pencils tend to go walkies, and I need them for work.
Yeah, no,
Anyway, so they're like, "Yeah, man, we'll ask a couple questions. We'll get back to you."
All right.
Okay.
And you're going over to Mary. I was like, "Why did I pick Shriver's last name? I don't know." You head over to her house. She lives. She actually lives over in St. Albert.
Oh, well.
She lives a little bit outside of town.
Fair enough.
But it looks like, by all accounts, she works in town, so she commutes.
Yeah.
St. Albert, tornado capital of this part of Alberta.
Is she at home?
Sunday, by this point, it's about noon, 1 o'clock. She is... Sure, she's home. She lives in a little in like a little townhouse.
Okay.
Like 2 or 3 rooms across 2 floors kind of thing.
Maybe you should take lead.
I'm going to take this.
Yes.
And knock on the door.
Okay. Eventually she answers.
Very.
She's just dressed in, t-shirt, sweatpants. Looks like she's just kind of spending the day at home.
Mary Shriver.
Yes?
My name is Detective Floyd Burrow. I'm with the Edmonton Police Service. I need a moment of your time.
What's this about?
We have some unfortunate news about your boyfriend, Dr.
Stanley McDougal?
Dr. Stanley McDougal. He was found dead earlier this morning.
And she just disintegrates. Like, I mean that's
Not literally.
metaphorically. I have to specify that there's a disintegration power in this game.
What power is that?
It's called disintegration. It's right there. It's under transmutation. Right beside self-detonation.
I don't think that applies to yourself.
Maybe everything.
Yeah.
Who can say? And yeah, there is much crying, but you have reassurance.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to ask you to spend a point of it to get anything useful out of her, because otherwise she is
A bawling mess.
understandably.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right, I was
And she lets you in. And she kind of goes on autopilot. She offers you guys, you want some Coke, you want some tea, and she has like 12 different kinds of tea.
Nice. So she's a rational lady. Good to know. While she seems to be in shock, in my workshop I learned to exploit this. I'm going to ask if I may take a look at her phone. If she'd be so kind as to let me view its contents.
Why?
We're just curious about some of the places that you may have traveled with him, and so I'm curious what apps were used when.
See your sheet for a second.
I probably have nothing to help me with this. I'm trying to be an awkward weirdo.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's... She clams up a bit at that one. That you don't think I'm a suspect, do you?
Not necessarily.
I'd never hurt Stanley.
Of course, we're not saying...
We've been dating for years. He's wonderful. He's amazing.
There's been no allegations. We were just curious. Any information is useful.
Any of you guys want to try and take this over
save
from
me.
him?
Can I bullshit detector that?
Yeah, you guys all have bullshit detection. There is, in fact, an investigative skill in this game called bullshit detection.
And we got it.
You all have it. Some of you, in fact, have it quite high. Shane has 3 points of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we've already established that Stanley was killed by a powered individual, and she's not.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
Do we know that? Do we know
okay,
that for sure?
let me put it this way. Unless she was like a deep cover operative infiltrating the muter community, there is pretty much zero way that she has powers.
Okay, that's true.
But we all have bullshit detectors, so
Yeah,
I
no,
could just
you-
sacrifice some of mine just to be safe.
Well,
Yeah.
keep in mind, it's an investigative ability. You get a lot of the information for it free automatically.
Oh, okay.
Then spending the point gives you additional effect.
Oh, okay.
For instance, calming her down got additional information out of her and got her to invite you in.
Okay.
Will having no points to spend and 0 rating got a very negative response.
Yeah.
As I hope.
Your bullshit detection, it doesn't ping. She sounds genuinely very emotional about this. It sounds like she really actually liked the guy.
Yeah.
Well, can I sense trouble?
As my character's about to open his mouth again, yes.
Yeah, I think definitely most of the trouble is coming from Will's direction.
Okay. Now, the neighbor did say specifically that it was like that McDougal was showing up with a woman, right? Like he saw a woman.
No, not that night. He just said that he'd seen her in the past.
Okay, so he'd seen a woman in the past, but he didn't see anybody specifically that night.
Yeah.
And in the complaints that he'd been making, what kind of music was it? Did they ever get through on requisitioning that audio for me?
Oh, yeah. He does. He holds his phone up to the door at one point. Yeah.
I'm doing this for a while. Right?
You just hear bass.
Okay.
Like the walls are still are decently thick, but it's like noticeable from his. It's certainly noticeable from his apartment, but it's at the same time.
I suppose having access to his media stuff. What was the last thing that was played?
He had like classic like 80s rock, 70s and 80s rock
like
kind of thing.
Dad rock stuff.
Yeah, dad rock exactly.
Dad rock.
Yeah.
Just looking around, does she look like the kind of lady who would be into that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, damn it. I was hoping for perhaps some sort of lead to that.
Contradiction.
Yeah, some sort of contradiction so you could have a better way to get her off the suspect list.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always just lick the couch cushions and see if you come up with any cocaine.
I could lick the couch cushions to see if she has some cocaine, but I'm going to stay away from that.
Do it. She's in the other room. We'll be fine. She'll never know.
Richardson is not like...
You can see she has bookshelves up around the room. You can see that she has a lot of books. She has a lot of science fiction novels. She has a lot of comic books. She has some
kind of comic books?
like superhero comic book kind of things.
Like X-Men?
Yeah, like some of the classic stuff, and then a lot of like the post sudden mutation event stuff. There are some framed and autographed pictures from like famous powered individuals, and like she definitely kind of shows off her nerdiness.
She's got her geek pride going. Good for her. Try the free flag high.
It's like we should talk as we film against the backdrop of my green screen and my shelves of RPG books.
As we're doing a tabletop game podcast.
Oh yeah,
little tiny room. Yeah. So
in my basement apartment.
yes.
Not in my parents' basement
If your
though.
mom owned the place, we'd have the trifecta. Okay. So do you have anyone who can perhaps corroborate your whereabouts?
At what time?
Last night, and preferably around 4:30 to about 7 in the morning.
I was asleep then.
Do you use a sleep tracker?
No.
They're very reassuring.
I had some friends over last night to watch some to watch some dark matter, but they were all gone by about 1.
All right.
Like, well, I'm done here.
I'm not the interpersonal guy. I can keep digging this hole, but...
Do you know anybody that he hung out with at all regularly?
Well, I mean, there are the people from work that he went out with on the weekends, and I mean, he said he worked late a lot. And for those of you, you're not detecting her bullshit. You're detecting his post-mortem bullshit. There is the definite suspicion that she did not know about certain aspects of his partying lifestyle.
Coming out.
And I mean, he hung out with Blue Justice sometimes and his people, but
Was there anyone that he was having a disagreement with, or new friends, or anything that was worrying him? Any changes in behavior at all?
For those of you, I think
I'm just
actually
in this picture, if that's
Yep.
all right.
Cam,
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at you as this is not a hostile interrogation,
Yeah.
but you do have a lot of it. If you spend an interrogation point, there is some additional information you can get out of her, but it's going to require you to kind of take over the reins of.
The slow dumpster fire that...
The slow dumpster fire that Will has started, and because his powers only work at explosions, is now totally unable to put out.
Yep.
I have fire control, though.
Well, get in here, buddy.
Cool, yeah.
You have some investigative powers with the ladies, but maybe not the ones whose boyfriends have recently died.
You never
Hey,
know.
man, you gotta go for the rebound.
Yeah, I'll use a point. To
Okay.
interrogate.
Great. So you sit her down, and you chat with her, and you just kind of get her to focus on you, and you use your reassurance. You kind of you help her through the through grief counseling a little bit, just kind of on the spot. Well,
It's like, it'll be okay.
To be fair, this is the kind of thing that you're actually trained in, though.
Yeah.
When you started training as a hostage negotiator, that you're used to helping people work through their emotions in definitively non-violent, non-aggressive ways. And she says that he'd actually been really nervous about something over the last week or so. She didn't know what, but he had... he'd given her a couple things. He just said, like, can you just hold on to these for me?
I'm gonna need to see those things.
Okay, and she goes and she brings you back just a couple of files. And they're just... it's in like a sealed file holder. Just looks like a medical thing. Do you open it up?
Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
Too late!
Yeah,
You're like, no, don't... Oh, you've done it already.
Richardson just like sits down and takes out his briefcase and pulls out the necessary forms.
I have
what you
document analysis as well.
Yep. Well, what you actually find is that there's a whole lot of paper that looks like it's just printouts of the hospital's website. In fact, it's the same printout about 20 times. There's a blank piece of paper with a memory card taped to it, and then another, 20 pieces of paper printouts of the hospital website.
We're going to have to check out that memory card.
Okay. So I'm assuming you bagged that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was it?
Yeah.
Cool.
It looks like it's just a really big file folder full of junk to dissuade anyone.
To make people think it's a big, boring medical folder.
Yeah.
And when did he give this to you?
That must have been Tuesday, I think. He just he asked me to meet him for lunch out of the blue. I had to take some extra time off work, and then it was really nice. But he
and he was quite insistent. You had to take time off.
Yeah, and he wanted a romantic lunch, and he asked if I'd just hold on to something for him, and he said it was it wasn't very important, but he'd taken a cabin that day, and he just didn't have room in it in his bag for it, and so I said sure, no problem.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else? I will... you have found most of the information. There is one other critical clue. I can't think of what skill to put it under. I'll give it to you guys, though, is that you might be able to ask her more information about where you'd find Blue Justice and his group.
Right. I was thinking of doing that.
I was thinking we could just tweet at him.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
Oh my god, you could just tweet at
He
him.
wants legitimacy, and we're actual cops.
Just meet me at the pit if you want to fight.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear... Are you a bad dude?
So yeah.
For the sake of it, we'll just ask her,
Yep.
where's the most likely place that we can find Blue Justice? We'd like to talk to him.
Well, there's a... There's a gym that they hang out at, down by, I can't even, Mill Woods.
All right. I give her information for grief counseling and such.
You give her your card, and if you think of anything else, give me a call.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes, and we'll be in touch. Oh god. Then, as soon as we're outside, whoever killed him is very likely going to come kill her. We should absolutely put her in protective custody. As walking towards the door. This is like an afterthought.
Oh my god, Will, I should have just given you force field so you could take autism as your flaw. Total emotional disconnect with the situation.
He's very emotionally involved. He just doesn't express it well.
Wow.
And he waited until she couldn't hear.
That's true.
But we really should do that.
Yeah.
But seriously, guys, I'm not joking. They're probably going to come kill her.
She will die. She's certainly in mortal peril.
So you call up and
call
ask,
in and just have. I was going to say have a heightened, but
that would be you.
that would be us exactly, and that's the problem because we're not good at protecting shit.
Well, more to the point, you also need if you can't keep it with the investigation, if you need to protect her.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, they can bring her down to the police department at least for a bit.
Yeah.
At least while you guys are working for the day, and then you can figure out what to do after that.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to do this.
Yeah.
Like so that.
Okay, so they ask you to just sit tight, and they send a patrol car over.
Yeah.
And because it's out in St. Albert, you are subcontracting out to the RCMP.
Yeah, but it's kind of good to put that on a national level anyways.
Now, the one actually, there is one benefit that you wouldn't have to watch her, because if you can ask the Mounties for help,
and the
Mounties do have their own HCIU.
And it's much bigger and spread across the whole country.
And it just doesn't involve basically what happened was, Edmonton's police commission went, well, Toronto and Vancouver have heightened crime investigation units. So we should stop farming ours out to the Mounties and make our own.
Yeah.
And it turned out that the one they got was a bit clown shoes. But, you guys moderately get the job done. And Edmonton has the pride of not having to ask the Mounties for help anymore.
Yeah. To be fair, Brandon probably also has their own, because their police department appears to be gigantic.
There may be certain smaller municipalities in Canada that have their own HCIUs, that it's like their one community liaison officer, or they pay really, really good salaries, and they have like 6 guys in their department, and they literally sit around doing nothing, but they're amazing publicity.
Awesome.
We've got an officer who can fly. What does he do? Mostly he floats at the front of parades.
Mostly. Anyway, so now that she's safe, and we have...
Yeah, the Mounties will send a couple of their guys over, and the Mounties look down on you guys a little bit. On the other hand, they also kind of look at it as like, you poor bastards.
Yeah.
Because they recognize that especially like, you really shouldn't be out there.
Definitely
They
not.
don't hate you for it. They know it's not your fault.
Yeah. If I didn't have a moral duty to do this...
So they send down, they'll call him Officer Rush and Officer Briggs. And Officer Briggs, they have to use a van to drive around in because Officer Briggs is like 8 feet tall.
I was thinking he's a brig shithouse.
Yeah. Sure, why not? I don't even know if you get additional muscle mass in this game with strength, but for the purposes of this, we're just going to call it that it's not uncommon.
Yeah, right. Okay. Great. So they come out and take over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go talk to Blue Justice.
Yeah, see if we can find him.
I hate that guy.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, fuck Phoenix Jones. Phoenix Jones, if you're listening to this, please don't beat me up. So, a funny story, when you, if you played Dishonored, not Dishonored, Infamous Second Son when you're in Seattle, every once in a while you actually come across Phoenix Jones posters.
Oh my god.
Apparently he just left the city when actual superpowers showed up.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, you drive over there. It literally is just it's an independent gym that they've just sort of taken over as their impromptu clubhouse.
Alright.
And I love how I didn't write the name of their group down, so they're just like, something Justice 2000.
I love it.
And they're, you guys actually, they have a website. They have a Facebook page.
We can
And it's not all Blue Justice.
How many likes does it have?
Actually, a fair number.
Oh,
like, they've got fans.
Yeah, they're popular.
They're especially popular in Japan.
No, thank you.
Wow.
There's lots of likes, not necessarily all from
Do
Edmonton.
they tour?
There are people trying to get them to tour.
Oh, okay.
They do, like, the fan convention. They show up at, like, Fan Expo.
Oh,
Nice.
If it was another couple of weeks, they'd be in Toronto right now. Then they'd be the Toronto HCIU's problem.
If only.
Oh my god, the Toronto crew needs to run their own Mutant City Blues game. The interconnection between the games is this one douchebag vigilante named Blue Justice.
I love it.
So you go over there, and there are regular people working out. There's also a guy, he looks like he might be Hispanic, like he might be Latino. He's wearing bright red, like spandex pants, and a short sleeve spandex shirt, and he's got a mask on with this.
This is normal gym wear until the mask.
He's a luchador.
And let's see what powers we're going to give him. his color theme is red. So sure, this we're going to call him Mr. Crimson, and he's known to be a pyrokinetic.
Nice.
So he's got the same power as you.
Nice.
You guys also know he's got a Class 8... wait, no, sorry, wrong power. He's also able to shoot beams of fire. He's immune to fire, and he's able to set himself on fire.
Got the whole fire trifecta.
He's got the fire shebang going on.
Setting yourself on fire is useful with the being immune to fire skill.
Yes.
Not very good without it.
And he's also a gym rat. So
He's jacked. And
he's doing CrossFit right now. He's over in a corner, hitting a tire with a sledgehammer.
All right,
Nice.
I firmly believe he's now skinny now. I refuse to accept that he's bulky. That's my headcanon. I don't care if it's true or not.
all right.
Well, all the fire powers, though, do burn a lot of calories.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we're to hell with this guy. We won't blue just.
They're just like, to hell with this asshole. We don't give a shit about him.
Yeah.
Mr. Crimson my ass.
I also don't want to talk to him before he talks to me about CrossFit.
Bro, do you even?
I, as the girls say, I can't even.
It's a wonderful just twist from your last character in Night Pain.
You're really tempting me to do something stupid. Basically, walk over there and have him be like, "Do you lift, bro?" And then use my telekinesis to lift the tire. Yes, I do. Drop it on his foot.
Hey, that's police brutality.
Can't prove it.
Anyways, we should ask around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by we, I mean somebody who likes talking to people.
Why don't we ask Mr. Crimson?
Yeah, why don't we talk to him?
Oh my god, the group is now evenly split over whether or not they want to talk to the douchebag pyrokinetic. I love that you guys. I had you going, guys, until he's like he does CrossFit. He's like, oh, he's a douchebag.
Which is an unfair characterization, but I've yet to be proved wrong.
Can I intimidate
At least
him
one of us
into
should.
telling
At least one of us should be looking around for the guy that's just recording him for his YouTube channel.
Oh no, there's a webcam that's actually like screwed to a post overlooking like the CrossFit area.
Oh, for fuck's
Where it's
sake.
like, here's our heroes doing their training, so that every week they just cut it. Well, yeah, there's like a constant live stream whenever they're in the gym, and then every week they cut it together and play it to like dubstep music of them working out.
Oh, and I bet Blue Justice has a fucking GoPro.
Many GoPro.
Well, no, actually, he doesn't.
Oh, 'cause he's-
specifically because he has lightning powers, and he has this annoying tendency to short them out.
Oh, gotcha.
So instead, he has another speedster named Jackrabbit who runs behind him with the GoPro because Jackrabbit is just slightly faster than him.
Oh, nice. So you can get nice like panning shots.
Jackrabbit, on the other hand, only has super speed.
Gotcha. Okay. So who's going to talk to somebody?
I'm gonna intimidate that crimson jerk.
You're gonna go over and intimidate the man who's hitting a tire with
Yeah.
a sledgehammer.
And he light things on fire with his brain.
But I can flatter him.
I love that I'm like the lead detective and I have like zero control of the team.
Shane, I think there's a phrase you're thinking of here.
So I'm gonna walk up to him and try and possess him.
Okay, just so you know, that constitutes assault.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like,
Does it-
your possession power is okay if you use it to, like, diffuse a violent situation. Like, a guy has a gun, you can possess him to make him put the knife down and submit to being handcuffed.
Okay.
You can't just walk up to a dude, possess him, and say, you know, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself.
Like you're capable of doing that, but you'll go to jail.
Yeah.
You will
It's
be...
not like
It was worth
Double
it.
Dragon where you can just jump into a dude and just have him start just slapping himself.
Once again, you can do it, you just probably shouldn't.
That's fair.
You're...
I also probably shouldn't be
Especially if you care about rubber
intimidating
patrick's
a random.
Wait. I'll go up to
Okay.
him and I'll try flattering him.
Okay.
Don't fly.
So I'll go up there and be like, "Wow, that's a lot of weight you're handling there."
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. Wham! It's a 20-pound mallet. Wham! Really got to work to get that thing up there. Wow! And he's still hitting the thing rhythmically as you're talking to him.
Does he at least have good form, or is he?
Oh yeah, no, he has good
Okay.
form. Like this guy
But
is.
then how's he doing CrossFit?
It's a hobby.
It's cross trains.
Gotcha.
It's a superhero workout.
Fair enough.
Wait.
That was actually a good catch. Jesse's sheet
saved
flew
it.
out of his hand, and as it twirled in the air, he caught it on the rebound, so it was still facing him.
Yeah, I think we may.
Jesse, are you the Matrix?
Anyways, I guess I didn't get much out of that. I'm gonna try flirting with him.
Worth a shot.
So I think,
Somebody give me a coin.
going.
Call it odd or even. I have made no determination on the sexual orientation of any of these characters except for the two people who were dating.
Even then, boundaries are ridiculous.
Odd. You called even, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope, he's straight.
Well,
It's like, he stops there and he's like, bro, first of all, I'm going to stop you there. I'm flattered.
that would work.
But I don't swing that way.
You're swinging that mallet pretty hard, if you know what I'm saying.
There it is. Hammer jokes.
Hammer isn't his fist.
Can you use a point to try and get something up with that?
What are you
That's not
trying to
how it
get?
works.
Like, what kind of information are you trying to get from him? You're just trying to figure out where Blue Justice is?
Try and get on his good side.
That's it. You're just trying to get on his good side with it?
Yeah, see if he cooperates with us.
What do you want him to cooperate for? Is like, what is the end? What is your end intent of this line of action?
Okay, yeah, it'd definitely be sort of to get information about Blue Justice.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got flattery. It's an automatic skill because it's an investigative skill.
Okay.
So you automatically succeed at it.
All right.
It's like, yeah, man, you're just kind of talking up his team, and you've done a little bit of preliminary research on the way over, so you're able to say enough to bullshit him in just the right ways. And he's like, yeah, the boss is around somewhere today. I think he might be upstairs. I mean, he could even be out here in his secret identity. And he does like dramatic stage whisper.
Nice.
It's really commonly known that he's a former MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I want to call bullshit detector.
Bullshit detector, man. The guy has a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
But these guys like to play up.
Yeah.
Even though they're not... A lot of what they do is community outreach.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, you look like you're thirsty. Here's a water bottle. Like.
Yeah, dramatic hero speech. Build a lot of what these guys do is
Open this playground.
build web presence, build community presence, and then maybe one of them like ran down a mugger or something, in a way, and like performed like a citizen's arrest kind of thing in a way that the police couldn't really fault.
Yeah.
And that got them enough headline to kind of boost them from there.
Yeah.
He was really inspired by Stan Lee's Academy of Heroes.
It's real world superheroes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's actually a decent watch on YouTube if you ever.
Yeah,
if you ever watch
yeah,
it.
I've heard okay things about it.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah, but they like to play up that they have secret identities, and that when they're in the mask, they pretend they have nothing to do with it. It's basically all wrestling kayfabe, essentially.
Yeah.
All right. So where?
Honestly,
He-
it'd be like,
look upstairs.
We check
You just
upstairs.
open up the Wikipedia page. It's like, what's he look like without his mask on?
And then we go
Okay.
find him.
He owns the building. He's the guy who
Of course
manages the gym.
he's in there. Okay.
So all you do is you just walk up to the receptionist. Is your boss in Edmonton EPS HCIU? And she's like, oh yeah, okay. Just give me a second. Boss, there's some cops here to see you from the Heightened Crimes Unit
And you hear a whoosh as he gets in costume.
because he has super speed and he can do that.
Of course, and he revels in it.
Yeah, they're looking for Blue Justice, and
And then he shows up behind us.
well, none of you have super hearing, so.
Oh, yeah.
Shane, you do have spatial awareness, though, and high moving object just suddenly enters into the building, and suddenly just Blue Justice is standing there, and he does this dramatic thing with his lightning powers, where there's just like he managed to get this. He managed to combine it with how fast he moves, keeping in mind that all the powers work exactly the same in this game. But it's just like because he's so fast, so he gets the whoosh in there, and he crackles the lightning just right, and he gets his little thunderclap as he stops.
Yeah.
And then like there's ozone, and there's just this like spark, just like air of sparks around him.
Richardson appreciates the ionized air.
I like
It's
it.
clean and doesn't
It's-
taste like anything.
He's just gonna step forward a little.
He tasted the air.
He absolutely is.
I'd like to try flirting with Blue Justice. I like the cut of his jib. I call odd.
At what point did you decide?
Even! Wow, you are just... I don't even know if your character is gay or not. You are just striking out with everyone today.
Listen, man, it's all part of the duty.
Miss all the shots you don't take. Okay. Your
What the fuck are they teaching you with the academy?
Yeah, it's like you start trying to flirt with him, and he is like, citizen, I am flattered, but I am straight.
I am married to Justice.
I am married to Lady Oh my god, I'm now envisioning him voiced by Patrick Warburton. Yeah. But I'm married to Lady Justice, and she's a strict mistress.
and incidentally, there of course is a Lady Justice who's from Calgary, and
So,
Cleb, if I hadn't seen you use your powers for myself, I would swear you lied about them just to satisfy your spandex fenish. If you're hitting on anything with tights. at
we
this
agreed we would not talk about that in public.
point- Oh, God.
Mr. Justice, could you tell us?
May we call you Blue?
You could just address him by his real name. It's like Kevin Richardson or something like that. It's something ridiculously mundane.
No. We need to feed the ego.
Whoa.
Richardson was
Does
trying to
anyone
play
ever-
along.
Whoa, does anyone ever make fun of this guy because his initials are BJ?
No, but it's probably got something to do with the fact that he can throw lightning bolts.
Also, he was an
enough.
MMA fighter before he had superpowers.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
He's
the guy is legitimately built. Like he was a like medium weight MMA fighter. He was on Ultimate Fighter. Very well publicized when his powers kicked in.
Yeah. So, Mr. Justice.
So the answer is at most one, and he was an example.
Yeah.
Yeah, although it's also probably a nice guy. Hard to say. Mr. Justice, we're investigating an incident which occurred last night, and we were just wondering if you would be able to share with us your whereabouts. It may be involved with parts of your fandom.
Where I was last night? I was patrolling.
Indeed. And would you be able to share with us perhaps where you were patrolling? A rough approximation would be enough, particularly if there was any geotag photos or tweets that would confirm that.
Yeah, I've got. Is live stream even still a thing?
You can go live on all sorts of apps now.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Actually, I think you could broadcast live to YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube and
Yep.
Facebook.
Yeah, he reaches into one of the pouches on his blue spandex uniform, takes out his phone, opens up the YouTube app, and scrolls through all of his, 750 videos.
Yeah.
To, the 5-hour live feed from last night.
He's, escorting drunks away from their cars after...
Yeah, and they're exactly it's
Yeah.
he puts on shows and stuff like that where he tosses lightning bolts to himself. He tosses a lightning bolt, then he runs across and catches it, and
Cool.
To be fair, this guy's probably like The Rock. As soon as he started a YouTube channel, he probably had 1 million subscribers.
pretty much
Video.
he got a lot of YouTube subscribers simply because he had the name recognition of being this. He was on Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like, "Hey, man, he was awesome on that." Well, oh my God, he's a superhero now.
Famous dude gets more famous.
Exactly.
Great.
So he has 25,000 subscribers on YouTube, kind of thing.
Are you familiar with Dr. Stanley McDougall?
Yeah, Stanley. Yeah, yeah. He's been hanging around here a bit.
Interesting.
He's a total fanboy. He's pretty cool though. I mean, he works for the Quaid Institute. He got us some. He helped us get some power tests and.
Power tests.
Yeah, you guys got them. You guys did, in fact,
Yeah,
get
of
them.
course
Where
we
you went to the Quaid Institute or one of its satellite offices, and they put you through this full bevy of tests
Yeah.
to see what abilities you had, what what rough level they were at, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And these were recent? Were they in addition to the standards, or was it a secondary round?
Well, I mean, they you walking off the street, sometimes you don't get the most accurate stuff, but I mean, like, he had access to better gear and stuff. And,
As you would expect.
yeah.
Very good, very good. And when were these extra tests?
A couple weeks back.
Interesting. Very good. Did he seem, in any way, to be behaving strangely?
Yeah, you know what? He'd been a little jumpy the last week. He was hanging around here a lot more than usual.
Indeed. Did he seem agitated or frightened, or was there anything that was bothering him? Conversation, anything at all?
Yeah, I mean, he was going at the machines pretty hard. Like, he was trying, like, he had a lot of tension to work off.
And he wasn't. He normally came here for the social aspect, not the exercise.
No, he came here for the exercise too. But yeah, no, a lot of it was just like meet the guys and hang around and stuff.
Did he ever come here with anyone?
Yeah, he brought his girlfriend by a couple times. She was pretty cool.
Interesting. And who was that? What was her name?
This is Marianne Mary, something like that.
All right. Could you describe her?
Yeah,
Can you describe the picture?
40s, kind of mousy looking.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed a photo for her.
Ah, very good. And was there anyone else he ever came with?
I don't think so. You'd have to ask the receptionist.
Super memory.
Not one of my powers. She's got a computer.
Power, that was the.
She's got a computer.
I'm not very
Computer
good
has
at
super
humor.
memory.
All right, we will do that.
You
He just tells her, we will do that, and
Yeah.
he stands there like an idiot.
Smiling.
I'm just turning my eyes to the voice of intelligence and reason here, which is your senior officer.
I'm waiting.
I swear to God, I saw social awkwardness on this Quake diagram.
So Shane,
I
you
can't find it right now.
anyway, rest of you guys, you gonna ask the receptionist, or you just gonna awkwardly stare at her?
I'm staring at him.
I'm staring at Blue Justice. Out of curiosity, there's a great deal of heightened individuals who come here. Have you found that perhaps some of the unaffected perhaps feel pressure to compete? Perhaps that, again, no insinuations.
Sometimes, I mean, we had a brick thrown through the window a couple weeks back. We think it was probably from some guys associated with the Neural Parity League, but those assholes, they just don't. They can't get with the times.
How familiar are you with the Heightened community in Edmonton?
I've been patrolling here for a couple years. I'm out at Mutant Pride and everything. No.
If we were to name certain abilities, would you know individuals in the area that would have them, such as Sonic Blast?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple guys who got that.
Who may that be?
Well, okay, look, I'm not gonna.
This is a simple investigation.
Yeah, but you know what? Not everyone wants it well known what they can do, and unless you, I'm gonna have to stop you guys there. Unless you got a subpoena, I'm not gonna divulge those names.
That's extremely reasonable.
Understandable.
But if you want to ask Anna over at the desk about Stanley, I have no problem with that.
We respect those boundaries.
You're like, I can see someone lawyering up on the horizon.
Yeah.
I do have 3 in bureaucracy.
And all of you have law. Like, you can tell when you are rapidly approaching the point with that kind of line of inquiry where someone would be well within their rights to ask you what he just did, or to ask, do I need a lawyer?
Yeah, I know, and that's totally fine. when you come against that, you just don't push.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, let's go talk to the receptionist.
All right.
Okay. She is, like everyone else who works at this gym, a ludicrously fit-looking woman. Who is... It sounds like Stanley was just kind of... people liked him.
Yeah.
He was a doctor. He helped guys out around the gym with, like, nutrition advice and stuff. He helped recommend some sports injury clinics and stuff.
Did he provide any supplements?
Not that she knows of.
All right. Just curious, because,
Yep. She can also confirm what Blue Justice said, that he seemed a bit more jumpy in the last week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think that concludes our work here.
Do you guys need the key to his locker or anything, or?
Oh, he left some personal effects.
Well, yeah, he left. I mean, he always left his gear here in case he didn't have a gym bag with him.
Oh, well, that would be very, very useful for our investigation. Thank you.
I'm going to expedite this out of character and not make you guys go and get a warrant for it and stuff, but...
She's offering it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they genuinely liked him here, and she's shocked that he's dead, and she wants to help you guys find out who killed him. So.
And we are going to give it to his next of kin.
Yeah. I mean, it'll all get bagged and sent off, and you will cease to have anything to do with it once it's entered the chain of evidence.
The system will...
The system will deal with it.
Yeah.
But, okay, she opens up his locker. Well, more to the point, she takes bolt cutters to the lock on his locker.
Okay, at that point, maybe we should have got a warrant.
Well, it's too late. It's like, maybe we should have gotten a warrant. Snap, already done.
Yeah. Okay, that's
She
different.
said she had a key.
Yeah, if she could just casually unlock it, that's different.
Well, bolt cutters are kind of a universal key.
Aren't they, though? So what's in here?
He's got a gym bag in there.
Nice.
It's got some spare sweats. It's got he's got a pair of running shoes. And I'm gonna look at you guys' skills again.
Tiny vial of cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, he's not stupid enough to bring that here.
Although there's so many powders.
Shane, you'll find it because your evidence collection is the highest, and you are very much collecting evidence. There's so at the bottom of his bag, it's got that sewn in hard plastic strip to keep it,
more or less.
Yeah. There is a bit ripped in the seams on one side of it, and you can feel an irregularity, and you pull out another memory card.
Oh, wow. 2 now.
Yeah.
2 memory cards.
That once again has been like taped to the plastic inside.
Okay.
It's around this time, Cam, that you get a call back from your guys at Vice.
Nice.
And they've got some flash dealers. They got a couple names for you.
Okay.
Top one on their list is a guy who is mainly known by his street name. He is called the Toad.
Awesome.
He is actually on your radar, though not as a flash dealer.
But as a mutant who can perhaps produce psychoactive substances?
Yeah. Well, no, it's more the fact that he can control amphibians.
Oh, so like literally the Toad. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And he has venomous spit.
Ah, cool.
You're like, wow, that guy got a really bad power set.
Although amphibians are going extinct all around the world, they can do a lot of good ecological work.
Command reptiles and amphibians, and he lives in Alberta.
We do have some reptiles and amphibians. Some.
So,
Like 5 species.
it'd be more useful if he lived in Australia.
Way more useful. All right, so we got a couple of names. Any of the names from the Vice guys match up the names of the medical files that were on the guy's computer?
Nope, but you do notice an unnamed number on the doctor's phone. Does match up with a known contact number for the Toad.
Ah, so one of his burners. Okay, so we found his dealer. Check that.
I think we need
Message.
to check what's in those
Well, I assume we're gonna
Memory
head back
cards.
and check out what's in the memory card
before we go.
Yeah.
We do a lot of
confronted
this as we
either.
drive.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, while we're driving back to the station, what had he been talking to?
Sorry?
I guess we don't have his phone with us anyways, so.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the station and go through all that.
Okay, so you pop in the memory card.
Yeah.
Um,
On an unnetworked
Yep.
laptop.
Both of the memory cards are encrypted. However, you have the highest data retrieval, Will.
I do. And cryptography.
And cryptography. Okay. This is actually... these are 2 parts of a 3-part encryption program. So basically, it would seem that there is a third memory card somewhere that you need all 3 of them together to decrypt the information.
Okay.
So basically, he's got whatever it is obviously really important.
Yes, and he had to smuggle it out of work, which is deeply upsetting.
Ooh.
Right? And this talk about, like, getting
Well,
extra
smuggle
tests.
it or hide it.
Either way, there was somebody at his job site that he was uncomfortable knowing that he possessed a copy of this information.
Yes.
Perhaps the sole copy, based on the fact that he is now dead and somebody looted the place looking for it.
Yeah.
Which they might have gotten.
They may have found that 1/3. In fact, now they're back at the station, go talk to the evidence guys. Was there any places where something had been taped and removed? He seemed a big fan of taping these things to things.
Not that they found.
Okay. Oh, did they check for that?
Not really. They'll have to go back through the evidence.
Have them go back and then look for tape residue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or sewn back stuff.
They're not terribly happy about that, but
That's your fucking job.
but it is their fucking job.
So we send them off to do that. And then, okay.
Do you want to consolidate at this point, it's not just for you, but also for our listeners, what you know?
We should do that. Absolutely. So we know that around 5 o'clock Saturday night he was killed. Music started around 4:30 and stopped around 7, correct?
Stopped around 5:36, or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, not quite that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was about an hour of ruckus. So whoever it is, he knew them, he let them in. They sonic blast him out the door after some sort of confrontation. Tosses place. He regularly came home and cranked up the music, and his phone was bugged. We still haven't figured out who placed that bug.
Yeah.
And they might have flying. Just
And
because
this
they
person very
do not-
likely has flying and regeneration and a whole Superman
Well,
suite of
he very likely has flying. He may have regeneration, super strength, etc.
and all this other shit, yeah.
Hold on, though.
He or she.
That's so. But then somebody flew in, right?
Somebody,
We're sort of thinking,
we're
right?
thinking that the person came in through the balcony.
Because there's
And
clear
so-
video footage of the hallway and nothing happened.
But since they were playing music, that means that he was at least acquainted with them, right? Because then you assume that they were partying or something, right?
Well, the neighbor says this happens all the time.
I thought you said it happened like every
Well, and
a
the
couple
and the
months
window was
or-
busted out, not in. Right.
Yeah.
Although was it locked?
Kind of hard to tell because it was,
It was
kind of
damaged.
blasted. Yeah.
Okay.
But still, like if it's a standard sliding screen door, it's got a switch.
Yeah,
up
but you
and
didn't
down.
find the lock.
Oh,
Get those
so
guys on it.
it wasn't just the window; like the whole door was smashed.
Well, parts of the frame, yeah.
Okay. Hey, evidence guys, find us that lock.
Yeah, follow the trajectory.
Oh my
into
god, the
field.
evidence guys are going to hate you more than usual at the end of this.
There
It is, but again, it's actually their job to.
No, it legitimately is their job. It's just like they did what they understood at the time to be their job. Some of them have been on the force for longer than the SME had been around, which means they're more used to when they were starting in this job, nice normal crimes, where there weren't lines like, we think someone might have blasted part of a door across a field, can you go find it for us, please?
Perfect.
Also, this guy might have been stealing from the company he works for.
Well, that's the thing. He might have been stealing from the company that he works for. Until we know what was on this encrypted thing, it's going to be very hard to figure out his motives, which is going to be a pain in the butt, because that would tell us who he pissed off and possibly why.
But he probably didn't encrypt those himself.
Well, we never know. Okay, so we know that chances are his girlfriend didn't do it.
Yes.
It was for sure a powered individual. He had been nervous about this for a while. There was that list of medical files. We should definitely get a warrant to actually open those.
Yeah.
So at this point, are you guys pretty much going to call it a day and then just wait for the paperwork to start processing?
Yeah, so that we can then proceed on some of the evidence that we've gathered.
Shane, this working for you as lead investigator?
Works for me.
Okay, so you file the paperwork for a warrant on the medical files.
One quick thing about the phone.
Are you guys going to subpoena Blue Justice?
Yeah, let's file the paperwork for it and not necessarily
Okay,
have it wait in the way.
He's a friend of the media.
So-
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. He's got a big mouth, so
Yeah.
Yeah. You also have a lot of research, Will. So
I do, I was gonna
if
say.
if you were going to use that maybe on your time off once you go home tonight.
that was kind of what I was thinking, was to start hitting up the research when I get home.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have some research, so I can do that too. See if I
Okay.
get anything.
You guys basically all just head to a diner somewhere,
Yeah.
pull out your laptops, hit up the Wi-Fi, and start combing the internet.
I might research those anti-mutant dudes.
Maybe we go to the public library and steal their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I'm not so comfortable with Denny's being a secure channel for police work, but I do trust the Edmonton public libraries.
Okay. You go to the probably like the big EPL branch downtown.
Yeah,
Sequester yourselves in the corner of the media room.
Yeah.
Actually, I love that
Close
media
the
room.
booth.
It's really freaking
Oh, it's
cool.
amazing.
And start going through evidence until the library will kick you out
Yep.
for the night. Okay.
Then we go to the Greasy Spoon.
Research-wise, you're looking for flyers in Edmonton.
Yeah.
There are literally probably like 100, 200 people in Edmonton who can fly.
Rad.
It is I'm going to assume for the purposes of this setting, it is one of the more common powers.
Okay. Yeah.
But fly and also use
And,
them.
yeah.
And Edmonton does have a proud aviating history. First
Yep.
municipal airport in Canada.
You don't. You get couple people who who might have sonic blast. Oddly enough, the sites that you're using are many of the sites that he used. You're using a lot of the muter resources.
We're going through a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any? Was he? Rhetorical question. Which forums was he active on? And what was he talking about?
He was on a couple medical forums that you can't get into because they were password protected on his computer.
And not as obvious as his general
No.
login.
He was on a bunch of muter forums of various degrees of raunchiness. He had a FetLife profile.
Cool dude.
Which it seems like it's mainly him and his girlfriend
Having a good time.
having a good time. He had a mostly anonymous, like muter-related Tumblr account.
Great. Did he have like a username or anything that, while I can't log into the website, if the site's been indexed, I could still search it to see what he posted without necessarily seeing his login stuff?
Yeah, not really.
No, it's all
yeah,
paywalled.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we find we had a list of flyers. Any of those flyers match any of the names we have, either from?
Nope.
Okay. So none of them match any of the names we have. Are any of them known accomplices of the Toad?
There are some that are that have criminal relations and the like.
Okay, so that starts narrowing things down. Are there any of them that have had anything that showed up on police radar regarding Quaid?
The Quaid Institute? Not really.
No. Okay.
Basically, what this research is going to provide you with is you can get kind of a list of individuals and possibles.
Yeah, I'm just looking for.
I mean,
possible
there are even a couple
correlations.
members of Blue Justice's own team who can fly.
Yeah.
But none of them have evidenced sonic powers. You've got guys who have... you've got, like, the Red Eagle who can shoot heat blasts and fly.
Cool.
You've got Mighty Man who can fly and has super strength.
Nice.
That kind of thing.
Do we have anybody who? Do we have anybody who we know has a coke habit and powers?
Plenty, but not related to this power set.
Okay, cool.
So I'm telling you, you're barking up a bit of the wrong tree.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what you're going to get from your research. I am going to call the game for this episode.
All right.
And we're going to leave you with that question in our final episode. You're hopefully going to get the last clues to this mystery, and boy howdy is it going to be a doozy. So, for this, the third episode of Mutant City Blues, I am Derek the Bard from Chasing the Muse, and to my left,
Jesse.
Shane?
Will.
Cameron.
And we are the Terrible Warriors, and you can come back next week when things go somewhat interestingly. Be seeing you.
Terrible Warriors comes out every Monday and Thursday, and Mutant City Blues has another episode up its sleeve coming out on the following Thursday. On Monday, we return to Crazy Bob Kaplansky and his used furniture warehouse Ghostbusters down there in Hamilton, Ontario, where they got to figure out what the hell happened at Hockey Night in Canada. Although that sounds a little weird, maybe check out TerribleWarriors.com, click the Adventures button, and listen up on what you missed, because it's a Michael Dodd story, so it's a little crazy. And also playing on Mondays is The Matrix Extraction, Steve Saylor's continuation into his Matrix RPG storyline. I guarantee you, if you thought the twist from the last episode was crazy, you haven't heard anything yet. Stick around to the end of the finale that comes out in 2 weeks. If you want to hear the reaction to that reveal, we have a spoiler-free clip that we've edited and posted on our Patreon page at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. That clip is a public post, so even if you're not a supporter, you'll still be able to listen to it. We've got a few things that we've already put behind the wall for our supporters, including polls to help choose out future campaigns, as well as in October, as these campaigns start wrapping up, Mutant City Blues, Matrix Extraction, and Ghostbusters Now Hiring are going to be released as a single file for our Patreon supporters, as well as some scanned character sheets that we have, any additional material we're able to scrounge up and share with you, links to how to play the games and where to find those games, and I think I'm trying to convince Steve to re-edit those album arts as wallpaper that you can use on your phone or your desktop. Basically, we just want to keep throwing stuff your way because we love the fact that you've chosen to support us and this show, and even just listening and sharing with your friends and posting a review on iTunes. That goes a long way to help put this podcast up on the charts, which help expose this show to even more people. I know you know that the more people are listening to Terrible Warriors, the bigger and better this show is going to be, and the funnier and more diverse stories we're going to be able to tell. If you have a look at our Patreon page and you don't like the rewards that you see and you wish that we were offering something a little bit different, hey, let us know. You can contact us through Facebook or Twitter or just about anywhere and give us some feedback about Patreon. We'd love to provide the kind of rewards that you would be interested in shelling a little money for, you know what I mean? Like, we want this Patreon page to be as much for you as it is for us, a unique way to interact with the show. September has been a great month, but you haven't seen anything yet. Stick around to find out what we're going to be doing in October. And check out TerribleWarriors.com because I've already posted a few of the additional campaigns that we've recorded onto our show calendar. Just click on schedule. If it's on the calendar, it's been recorded and it's in our system ready to be released. Sorry, that was a lot of a mouthful. I'm going to work on editing these extras down so you don't have to listen to as much. Today's Terrible Warriors have been Derek Burrow, Shane Fitzgerald, Cameron Dunn, Will Mitchell, and Jesse Krepakevich. Mutant City Blues is by Robin D. Laws and Pelgrane Press. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Artwork by Steve Saylor. Audio production by Justin Eacock. And until we meet again, the Mutant City Blues and the members of the Heightened Crimes Investigation Unit will be waiting for you for one last time. And thank you for listening to the Terrible Warriors.